Hi and welcome to this first tutorial about OxyCoral. I am going to start with a simple example using the MIDI input of the Coral. The Oxy1 is playing chords through the MIDI channel number 1, which is the default MIDI channel. As you already know, Coral is a polyphonic module which has 8 voices. By default, Coral shows the amplifier level of the active notes. We can play on top of the chords a few notes and see how more and more notes are used. Let me go first over the panel controls. So we have here a push encoder, which main function is to change the engine The push encoder is also used to enable the secondary parameters of the knobs, change the selected voice and the selected part to navigate through the load and save screens. The first section consists of 4 knobs that controls the sound generation. These 3 knobs control the 3 main parameters of the sound engine, and this controls the bass octave. This is the low pass filter with a filter envelope, filter cutoff and resonance, and these 5 are the controls of the amplifier and modulation envelopes. This one is the amplifier attack, amplifier decay and release. This is the sustain of both the amplifier and modulation envelopes, the attack of the modulation envelope and the decay and release of the modulation envelope. By default, the modulation envelope is linked to the filter, and this pot controls the amount of filter modulation by the envelope. Every knob has a secondary parameter. This one, for example, is the MIDI channel. This is the bass frequency. This one controls the level of the noise source, send amount to the chorus, maximum level of the amplifier, send amount to the space engine. This is the pan. Lastly, the secondary function of the 5 envelopes knobs is to set the amount of modulation input on each of these 5 inputs, excluding the part. Here we have the trigger input, which triggers both the amplifier and modulation envelope, amp level, so we can directly control the amplifier level of the module, pitch input. Let me play a little bit with one of the parameters. This is the bass octave. Let's set another engine with the encoder. We can increase the cutoff. Reduce the decay. We can play with the envelope controls. For example, I want to change the MIDI channel in the sequencer to MIDI channel number 2. The module will stop playing, and I can simply select the MIDI channel number 2. An important concept to understand is the catch-up values between primary and secondary parameters. So for example, if the main parameter of the knob and the secondary parameter doesn't match, because for example the noise level is set to the minimum while the timbre is set to the maximum, we may need to catch up the value. This avoids accidental changes on the parameter. The same, if we want to adjust the secondary parameter of timbre, which is noise, I will have to catch up the noise value. Now that I have just catch up the value, and I can adjust the noise level. Same with the reverb. Maybe the cutoff of the filter is close to 0, but I want to set the space sent to the maximum. I have to do this way. And now if I want to adjust the cutoff parameter, I have to simply catch up the previous value. This is everything about the main controls of the module.